Is there supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in?
No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker shit like that.
Know the reason, but what is the reason why you moved to Houston?
Well, look, first of all, like every time I've experienced Houston, like when I was out here, I ran into random acts of kindness. Like the people have been good to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the places that I'm like, man, or maybe Houston, like Houston or Miami popped into my head. Mm-hmm. They said 58%. I said, what? You my partner? The IRS is my partner now? Oh no, all you get is a Yankee hat? I'm going to Houston.
Houston just revealed something major that could explain why his issues with J. Prince and Supreme McGriff's circle run much deeper than people originally thought. According to what he's now sharing, this situation might be far more serious than just typical rap beef. Initially, it seemed like a classic case of egos clashing, 50 not following protocol, J. Prince taking offense, but now 50 is directly implying that there may have been an actual plot against his life. And he's naming specific individuals. What makes this even more alarming is who's allegedly involved, reportedly Supreme's own son and even Rick Ross. These names are being tied to 50's longtime adversaries, suggesting they may have teamed up to create further chaos. With 50 now exposing links between J. Prince, Supreme's legacy, and these quiet moves in the background, a clearer picture is starting to form. So, is this why 50 suddenly backed out of Houston? Was something bigger brewing behind the scenes? Let's break it down. It all began in Houston, a city where J. Prince is known to hold significant influence, almost as if it's his own domain. Artists passing through are expected to check in. It's described as a matter of respect, but to many, it feels more like pressure, especially considering the number of people who still end up hurt even after checking in.
Is there supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in?
No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker shit like that.
When 50 Cent relocated to Houston, J. Prince anticipated he would follow those unwritten rules. But 50 refused. He made it clear that he didn't know anyone anything. He had his own team, his own resources, and wasn't about to abide by street codes he didn't agree with. To J. Prince, that seemed like a blatant sign of disrespect. 50 wasn't just passing through either. He made Houston his new home. He even tweeted, "I love New York, but I live in Houston now." At the time, many thought it was a smart financial move given New York's heavy taxes. And yes, 50 is a businessman, but it turns out there was more to the story. He had big plans, a $20 million G-Unit film studio, partnerships for alcohol, brands, and community outreach, especially in schools. He was planting roots, but there was one problem: he was doing it all without checking in on J. Prince's home turf. No heads up, no acknowledgement of the local gatekeepers. That was always going to raise eyebrows.
Opportunity for me to start a new relationship with Houston. I'm excited about it. I had an opportunity. I had a lot of fun things for the kids. I think that they're really going to get a chance to appreciate and enjoy it.
Soon after, rumors began swirling. People claimed there was quiet resistance, that 50 was being watched, that doors weren't opening for him. Some suggested local crews were just waiting for a misstep, but 50 didn't flinch. Instead, he doubled down. To him, all this check-in talk sounded a lot like extortion, and he might have had a point. Even those who did follow the protocol didn't always end up safe. Takeoff checked in and still lost his life. Jacob the jeweler got pressured. Zextentation tried to lay low and still ended up a target. So from 50's perspective, why pay for a protection system that doesn't protect? To him, it was all an illusion. And after surviving everything he's been through, he's not easily intimidated. Then suddenly things shifted. Without much noise, 50 withdrew from Houston. He shut down the film studio project and redirected his focus to Shreveport, Louisiana. It was a quiet move, but a meaningful one. People were puzzled. After all, Houston had embraced him. They literally gave him a key to the city. So why leave? The answer came in a single interview line: "Houston didn't embrace me the way I expected." That said it all. Something had changed. He no longer felt welcomed or safe, and all this unfolded while he was still being celebrated publicly. He was the Grand Marshal for the Thanksgiving Day Parade. The city even named November 24th 50 Cent Day. The mayor showed support. The community applauded him, but one key figure didn't join in, Jay Prince.
And so today we have the honor of saying to him, he's our 2022 Grand Marshal. Give it up to Curtis 50 Jackson.
According to behind-the-scenes sources, Jay Prince was extremely upset. From his perspective, 50 Cent was moving through his city with too much influence, attracting all the attention and without checking in. This wasn't just about recognition. Anymore, it had become about control, and 50 was seizing it. But just as tensions seemed to ease, another name resurfaced, Supreme McGriff. Anyone familiar with 50's background knows how significant that is. Back in the early 2000s, 50 was shot 9 times. Many believe Supreme's crew was involved. It all stemmed from 50's track Ghetto Quran, where he openly named influential street figures from Queens Supreme among them.
Oh, nigga like 50, there's only 4 niggas that I know personally in Queens that wasn't scared of Preem. 50, E-Money Bags, Homo, and Big Nose Troy.
In the street world, that song wasn't just music, it was seen as crossing a line. Supreme took it personally. Not long after the track dropped, 50 was shot. He survived, rose to fame, and used that event to shape his public image. Meanwhile, Supreme was sentenced to life in prison. Despite everything, he never cooperated with authorities, which earned him respect in many circles. Meanwhile, 50 continued to share that story through interviews, lyrics, and films, turning a violent past into financial success. Supreme, however, never forgot that chapter.
You know, I have the resilience to go against anybody. Like, there's nobody that's too ill. Those are the guys that you would choose not to go against at that point. Just in the environment, they got it.
Then there's Irv Gotti, a pivotal player in all of this. Irv wasn't just affiliated with Supreme. They were close. He helped fund Supreme's legal defense and stood by him through the worst, never turning on him. That loyalty mattered deeply to Supreme. In contrast, 50 went after Irv's label, Murder Inc., dismantling its influence and sidelining Ja Rule in the process. Even after Irv passed away, 50 continued posting questionable content. When news broke that Irv died of a stroke, 50 shared a photo of himself smoking hookah beside a fake tombstone. Caption, "I'm smoking on that Gotti pack, nay God bless him law." The day before, when Irv suffered the stroke, 50 wrote, "Damn, I wanted him to see my new shows. That didn't sit well with Supreme's son." McGriff JRB took to Instagram saying,
"And if I said I was smoking on your mother and your grandfather pack, you'd be telling me I'm wrong, right? If I said I was smoking on your mother, right, I'll be wrong, right? Man, a clown, man. And y'all love this nigga, bro. He's a clown, bro. If I said I was smoking on your mother and your grandfather, I'll be wrong, right?"
For Supreme, Irv was like family. So 50's disrespect toward Irv was seen as a direct insult to him too. This is when things escalated further. 50 started sharing cryptic posts online, subtle messages, comments about hidden threats, and mentions of betrayal. Then a bigger reveal followed. 50 allegedly leaked information about conversations between Jay Prince's circle and Supreme's son. It's claimed they discussed ways to confront 50, potentially set him up, apply pressure, or worse. 50 didn't keep this hidden. He put it out for the public to see, even going as far as mocking Jay Prince online, challenging him directly. Then Rick Ross entered the picture. Ross and 50 have had a long history of conflict, legal battles, personal shots, and family issues. They've never gotten along. Recently, Ross was spotted with people from Supreme's camp. To the average person, it may have looked harmless, but to 50, it felt like a message. Ross associating with the son of someone tied to his past trauma? That struck a chord.
Man, it's for you, man. You the only one in Miami with that, baby. You know the, see what it is. You know the vibes. See what it is.
Just warming up, nigga. 2024.
Now here's where it gets even more intense. Reports suggest that this meetup wasn't just a social event. Allegedly, it was part of a larger scheme to set up 50. Sources say Supreme McGriff JRB is done staying quiet, especially after 50 kept mocking Irv Gotti online, even after his passing. With Jay Prince now involved, the situation becomes more serious. It's not just about hurt pride anymore. According to insiders, Jay Prince wants to make an example out of 50. If someone like him can bypass the so-called rules and face no consequences, others might follow. The check-in culture could unravel, and that's something Prince reportedly won't tolerate. 50 Cent may need to stay alert, because once you dig into J. Prince's history, you begin to understand the depth of his reach. He's not only a music mogul, he's someone with long-standing ties to the streets. As far back as the late 80s, his name was reportedly appearing in federal investigations. Allegedly, he had supply routes from Mexico through the southern states, including Texas and Louisiana, reaching as far as Chicago. This wasn't minor, it was structured and expansive. Around that time, he's believed to have made contact with Larry Hoover, founder of the Gangster Disciples. That alliance shifted everything. Suddenly, there was a powerful connection from Houston to the Midwest, with J. Prince positioned right in the middle of it.
This was the idea of my father, seeing that it was connections to Drake and Kanye, and that they were such iconic figures, and with them going through things.
Then suddenly, Rap-A-Lot Records came into the picture. On the surface, it appeared to be a platform to promote Houston artists. But according to Street Talk, it might have been more than just a music label. Many suspected it was being used as a front to clean up money tied to street activity, and law enforcement wasn't unaware. By 1988, the D had launched a comprehensive investigation into J. Prince and Rap-A-Lot. They were tracking shipments, tapping phone lines, monitoring properties, flipping drivers, and putting pressure on associates. A strong case was taking shape, but just as it seemed like they were closing in, the investigation disappeared. By the late 1990s, the U.S. Attorney General quietly dropped the case. No indictments, no public explanation, just silence. That kind of outcome doesn't happen without serious influence. Now, fast forward to the present, and 50 Cent might be crossing boundaries that have been in place for decades. So what do you think? Is 50 being overly cautious, or is he simply calling things out before they escalate? Could there actually be a plan behind the scenes, or is this just a clash of egos and power plays unfolding in public? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If this situation continues to develop, you can count on us to cover every detail. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications, because this story is far from over.